Putrajaya is restricting the operating hours of certain service providers and establishments as Malaysia moves towards the second phase of the Movement Control Order that comes into effect on April 1st. Defence Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob says eateries, supermarkets and petrol stations will only be allowed to operate from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The same goes for food delivery services. Public transportation, taxis and e-hailing services may operate from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m, while commercial vehicles transporting essential goods and medical supplies are encouraged to travel between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. Only one person is allowed in a private vehicle except for emergencies, while roadblocks will be increased. Houses of worship will remain closed during the 2 weeks, and social activities are banned in gated communities. The ceiling price for face masks has been set at RM1.50 a piece, while delivery workers are advised to avoid direct contact with their customers. Malaysia Airlines CEO Captain Izham Ismail says the carrier's cargo arm MABkargo will be flying in more than 10 million pieces of masks as well as ventilators from Shanghai and Guangzhou, China in the next few days. According to Bernama, he said this is made possible by the National Disaster Management Agency, the Transport Ministry and Pharmaniaga. The national carrier will also be reinstating some routes between April and May to bring home families who have not been able to return to their loved ones due to travel restrictions in many parts of the world. The flights that will be reinstated are between Kuala Lumpur and Melbourne, as well as Sydney and Perth in Australia, Auckland, New Zealand, Jakarta, Indonesia, and Guangzhou, China. Malaysia Airlines' announcement comes as the country reports 156 new COVID-19 cases and 3 deaths today. That brings the total number of infections to 2,626 and the death toll to 37 nationwide. Malaysia also saw 91 patients discharged today, the highest single-day increase in recovered patients thus far, bringing the total number of people cured to 479. The Economic Action Council is calling on landlords to consider reducing or waiving rent for businesses that have been unable to operate under the Movement Control Order. In a statement, the Prime Minister's office said the EAC held a meeting today focusing on the concerns of small and medium-sized enterprises amid the outbreak. Following the meeting, the Council decided to urge all owners of public and private business premises to alleviate tenants' burden by offering discounts, deferrals or exemptions for rent payments by businesses that cannot trade. Sunway Malls has already granted a 14-day rent-free period to non-essential trade retailers, while Ecovest is waiving rent for all Ecocheras Mall tenants till April 30th. Investors piled into thermoform food packaging maker SCGM after the group said it plans to venture into making personal protective equipment. Its shares surged to as high as RM1.39 in intraday trade before paring gains to close still 28% higher at RM1.37. The Edge Financial Daily reported today that SCGM will focus on producing face shields as demand surges for protective gear amid the outbreak. Its executive chairman, Datuk Sri Lee Hock Seng, said the company has ordered a machine to make face masks and plans to move into mass production in mid-April. According to Lee, it is already receiving massive orders from hospitals, both locally and in Singapore, and has even received inquiries from other countries. Malaysia had the second biggest number of IPOs in Southeast Asia in the first quarter of the year, before the pandemic caused a drag on the momentum. According to EY in its latest Global IPO Trends Q1 2020 report, IPO activity in Southeast Asia continued with the same momentum from the previous quarter, with 31 IPOs raising $3 billion, a 63% increase in deal volume and 885% increase in proceeds compared with the first quarter of 2019. Malaysia held 6 IPOs in the first quarter, the second most after Indonesia, which had 18. This was followed by Singapore with 5 and Thailand with 2. Looking ahead, EY says the COVID-19 outbreak and its negative impact on global economic activities mean IPO markets won't quickly rebound in the second quarter of 2020. However, while the third quarter is typically a slower time of the year, it says there may be increased listing activity as the market attempts a reset and the global pipeline looks for the IPO window.